Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the great extravaganza that is the Sports Junkies podcast. That's Franco.
You
We're here to talk about a shit ton of sports this week.
a lot of stuff.
Tons of stuff happened. We're going to try to get to everything. It's going to be impossible. We were talking right before about what we're going to talk about, and I completely forgot to mention Phil Mickelson at the PGA Championship.
Yes.
So I'm going to start with F1, and then we're going to go to soccer, and then we're going to probably go to hockey, and if we got time, we'll get a little mention in for Phil.
Yeah, the old man.
The old man, Phil. So basically, well, hello, Franco. Thanks for joining me again, as we do every week. Thanks for keeping on top of everything that was going on this week on Twitter.
Yeah, wild stuff. A lot of wild stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, F1 was pretty wild. Monaco Grand Prix, it's literally the biggest event of the year. I like to say it's up there with Great Britain and Canada, and those are pretty much the ones that I pay attention to most every year.
The iconic one, right?
Yeah, it's the most iconic race in F1. I don't think there's any real doubt about it. So basically, nothing insane happened.
No.
The only insane thing that happened was the issue with Charles Leclerc. Obviously, if you're Ferrari fans, it's kind of disappointing. It's kind of bittersweet. They get a podium finish in Carlos Sainz, who had a great race by all intents and purposes. He had a great race, finished second.
Mm-hmm.
But Charles Leclerc, who was qualified P1 in his home race, ready to go, and usually in Monaco, if you're finished pole and you get good pit stops, you got a good strategy, you got good pace, you're pretty much going to hold on to it if you don't crash, right? Just because of the nature of the closed circuit, it's hard to overtake. It's very narrow. There's very, very, very few spots that you're able to actually, hit that gas and just take that corner faster than someone else. So basically, what happened in Q3 was Charles Leclerc was in first, in pole position. Put his car into the wall. I think near the swimming pools. I believe was the turn that he did it in, and they had to red flag the session, which means they had to stop the session. And he was okay. The car was a little bit destroyed, but because it's such a small track, and you can't really clear anything. And it was in the middle of the session, they had to red flag it, so nobody else was able to do their lap times after that. Everyone did get a chance to get their lap times in the top 10, but so Leclerc was in pole. There was no problem. That's it's standard. It's happened before.
Yeah.
So afterwards, the next day, which was today, race day, they went out for their laps, or they were kind of warming up the car, and Charles realized that something was up.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, long story short, he wasn't able to go at all. We thought that maybe he was going to start from the pit lane.
Yeah, that's.
They were able to fix something in time, but they weren't. And so once again, he has not finished a Monaco Grand Prix in his career yet, which is his home race.
Yeah, it's sad.
This one's kind of a little bit more of a sting because Ferrari would have been 1-3, and I think 1-3 or 1-4, and it would have been a pretty good opportunity for him to, or for the team to pull out some serious points, and for him to win his first race at home.
Yeah.
But anyway, regardless, Vettel had a great race. That's pretty much my driver of the day, and pretty much everyone's driver of the day. He finished fifth after qualifying quite a bit lower. And the biggest, I guess, surprise, Verstappen wins the race.
Max Verstappen.
Sainz finishes second, and Lando Norris, who's having an incredible season so far, finishes third.
Nice.
And I guess the biggest, upset, the biggest surprise, I guess, is Hamilton in seventh. And basically, I guess the thing I was thinking of is, Monaco's a race where, because of the track limits and because of the nature of the race, the competition in cars gets kind of minimized. So like Mercedes' engine, that's clearly so much better, and the aerodynamics that are clearly so much better than everyone else's, it's kind of minimized because there's so many corners, there's so many sharp corners. It's such
you can bomb it.
It's like, there's no super straight line. It's very difficult to pull ahead. It's very difficult to overtake, like I was saying. It comes down to a lot of pitch strategy and just pace. If you have pace the whole race, you're okay.
I think you rely on the driver's skill too.
Exactly, and you rely a lot on the driver's skill and to be able to maneuver inside the tight corners. So, kind of raises the question if is he really? Listen, there's always arguments about who's the greatest of all time, whatever, this and that. I haven't followed enough of F1 to say anything other than Schumacher, because that's just the only person that I ever saw race in a horrible car and just won, like, all the time. But at the same time, Hamilton's had a dominant era. He's had like 6, 7, 8, 9 years of just being unbelievably good.
Yeah.
But sometimes it raises questions. If you don't have the best car, are you really the best driver of all time? I don't want to get too much into that. Maybe we'll have someone on that knows a little bit more about me. It's been following more, but yeah, very interesting. And a lot of the stuff today that I heard in terms of team radio, because they have the team radio that once in a while you'll hear what he's saying.
Yeah.
A lot of it was him complaining about his own team. In terms of how is this guy still ahead of me, or what's the strategy, or why did we pit here? Or there's a lot of complaining and not a lot of like.
Maybe he's frustrated.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of frustration, but it sounded whiny to me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just because it's Hamilton and whatever, but it sounded whiny to me. And so I don't know. I mean, weird race. I mean, good job for Verstappen winning that race, and yeah. I mean, now that actually gives Red Bull the lead in terms of constructors' championship by 1 point, and I don't know if it's going to stay there. But Mercedes is 1 point behind in third, and then McLaren's in fourth with 80, I believe, and Ferrari's at 78. So things shaping up. I think the only thing I would say if you're a Ferrari fan is that you have to acknowledge that the team has put 90% of his resources for next year into development of the car for next year. So you won't see that many upgrades this year for that car. So, they're going to fight maybe for that third spot, but they're not too worried about it because they think that next year they have a better shot of even, finishing second or first, let's say. So that's my spiel on F1. I don't think you watched the race.
No, I watched the highlights that what happened in F1 and stuff like
that. But that's it. Those are the kind of highlights of the weekend for that. And I guess we'll get to your kind of sigh of relief from the collective Juventus fan club.
Oh my God!
What happened today? So yeah, go ahead.
It was a stressful afternoon. I had I had my laptop, my phone, and I had the TV. I had 3 games going on at once.
Yeah, I mean there was 3 important games. Napoli was playing, Milan and Atalanta were playing, which we'll get to. You wearing the Milan Club Montreal shirt. Shout out. Yeah, but no, go ahead with Juventus. I know you guys.
Yeah, so
a lot better game this week.
Yeah, better. We played much better. Coming off, we just finished winning the Coppa Italia.
Yeah.
So it was nice to get Piero's second trophy of the year. This year was a big, it was well needed for him. I'm happy to see him succeed. So this game coming in, Juventus is a must win. No tie, no nothing. It's a must win. And we needed either Milan to lose or tie, or Napoli to lose or tie.
Yeah, to get it.
Either team has to either lose or tie for us to get Champions League football. Juventus played Bologna. First half, 3-0 Juventus. I think the game's in bed. The game was in bed over second half. 4-1, nothing else. Pretty much, it was a boring game after that. I stopped watching after the second half. Like, when the second half started, they scored the 4th goal.
You saw who you subbed in, and it was like,
Yeah. we put in our 3rd goalie. So right there, I was like, okay, it's done. Yeah. So then after, I started focusing more on the Milan game and the Napoli versus Hellas Verona. I tuned into the Milan game. It was already 1-0 for Milan. So I was like, oh, no.
This is a disaster.
Like, no, this cannot be happening. It was like in the 60th minute around there. Then I was watching Milan and the Napoli game, and Napoli was winning 1-0 too. So both teams were winning, and I was freaking out. I was like, no. And some miracle happened, and Hellas Verona scored.
Pulled out a goal.
Juventus went through by 1 point, and we finished 4th in the league, which is very bad for a Juventus.
Listen, for your standards, sure. But listen, 4th in a major league is not the worst thing in the world.
It's not. It's terrible.
But for you guys, for the standards, exactly. For your standards, it's
So like now we're gonna be in the Champions League, but we're the 4th pick out of the pools. You know what I understand.
So in theory, you'll have kind of a more difficult, maybe.
We're gonna have a harder group. We're gonna play against harder teams.
Yeah,
pretty much. So that was pretty much it from Serie A.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, you mentioned the Milan game. We did end up winning. We did end up winning 2-1. Finished second in the league. The celebration after the game was kind of like we won the league for some reason. Well, but listen, it's the best finish we've had since I don't even know when the last time we finished second was.
It's a good while.
Yeah, it's at least a couple of years, and
I
kind
think
of a team
champions.
effort. Like I said, I would watch the highlights earlier before, and kind of a classic Italian football, just moving the
Yeah,
ball around kind of game. A
yeah.
couple opportunities each way, but really the penalty shots were what was decisive. And I mean, the first one, in my opinion, was clearly a penalty, so I don't think there's an issue there. And the second one was a handball as well. So that's the game of football. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
you can't complain. I mean, if it's a questionable call, it's a questionable call, but those were two pretty clear penalties. And so in a game that would have otherwise ended 0-0, you're looking at a 2-0 Milan win and 3 points taken from the second place team to overlap them, and a very good spot in the Champions League. So
It's made you guys finish second.
yeah, nothing to complain about there, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, what I was speaking to my grandfather with, again, a massive Milan fan, was that we kind of have some younger guys. We have some guys that aren't like,
No, you guys have
we
a
don't.
very
It's not like we're a team of grizzled veterans of 35-year-olds. I mean, we've got guys that could still get better as well.
that's Juventus. Juventus are
Yeah,
the old ones.
yeah. But that's because you've had the team that's
Yeah,
won. You've kind
we
of,
won with them. Yeah.
yeah. It's the end of, let's say, that era. Let's say.
We're like going our way out, right? Buffon's leaving at the end of
Yeah,
this.
exactly. That's basically that'll mark the end. It's Buffon,
Uh,
Chiellini, Bonucci kind of thing.
apparently, he still wants to play.
I mean, listen.
He said he wants to be a starter. He still wants to be a starter.
I mean, he doesn't look bad in goal. I mean, it's just.
I have to say every game that Buffon played as like starting with Juventus when he started,
Yeah,
we looked better. I felt like
yeah, I think there's something to be said about leadership, of course.
I don't know. I like.
Can he be the starter for Juventus for 38 games in the Serie
No.
A season? I don't
He
think
said
so.
he said he wants 15 to 20 starts. But like
Yeah,
with a team like Juventus, when we have Chesney, who's at
he's
the end
pretty
of
good.
his
I mean, he's not elite, but he's pretty
he's
good.
decent. He could be a starter. He's a starter.
Yeah, he's a starter, but he's not like I don't know. He's not elite. He's not like
No.
Buffon. He's
No.
from his prime. He's not prime Buffon. Like
No,
he's
no.
not one of the greatest
But like
ever. He's a good goalie. He's a solid.
would Chesney want to sit down on the bench 15 to 20 games?
No, of course not. I mean, he can go somewhere else easily and get paid and be a
Exactly.
starter for 38 games. So
Exactly. So I think that's why Juventus are going to be transitioning to a younger team. That's why there's even rumors coming in this last week that Chiellini is probably going to leave the club and he's maybe looking to come. There's rumors in the MLS.
wow.
Yeah.
I mean, MLS wouldn't be a bad place for him.
Finish his career, right? Get the money and then.
Yeah, it's just a little bit. The thing
It's
about the
practice,
MLS,
yeah.
I guess, if we want to get into that, is just I find they're just too late to get these guys.
Yeah.
It's difficult because we don't have the same system. We don't have the
But
same.
we're slowly starting to get
Yeah,
like younger
I
and
think
younger.
like teams like Seattle are going to be able to have that kind of money because they fill up the stadiums.
Yeah.
They have the so eventually they'll get there in terms of being able to buy bigger players, and Toronto as well. Teams like that are like just they always have the fan base behind them. They have the money that's whatever, and then eventually as the TV rights, as more and more people watch, the TV rights will be obviously more profitable, and so that's when you're going to see better players. I think Jovinko was probably the first one that really, for me anyway, that was the first one that really broke the barrier to be a player in his prime that decided to come over.
Yeah.
That maybe wasn't the best player in Serie A, but he definitely could have played Serie A football for as long as he wanted, pretty much.
He could have played anywhere if he wanted.
He could have, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, and he decided to come here. That was a massive step.
Yeah.
I don't know where the decision came from. To be honest, I'd have to look it up. Maybe he had family here. I mean, there's obviously a lot of Italians in Toronto, but
yeah, but I don't know. It's weird.
but I'm not sure. Obviously, money had to do with it. That he was literally the highest paid player in the MLS for the longest time, as far as I know. And with good reason. The guy was a star here. I mean,
he was good. He was a good player from Europe, obviously.
Yeah. So I think there's like a kind of a once that starts to happen as well, you're going to see more guys like Alphonso Davies. You're going to see more guys like that come from Canada, that come from the US.
That come through the MLS system that go play.
Yeah, I mean, eventually you're going to see it happen. It's just a matter of organization, and it's a matter of time and funds as well.
There's like
for the longest time, especially in the US. Let me just finish my thought. In the MLS, in the United States, most of the star athletes would play football and basketball and baseball. Those are the sports that the elite athletes would choose to go play. Baseball's dying. Because they made a stupid marketing decision and not allowing anyone else to have their rights except the MLB, and they're the only ones who are allowed to do anything. And a big mess, stupid decision. The players are not marketed well. The leagues are not really marketed that well. And in general, our generation, it's too slow for our generation, in my opinion, which is why they're trying to make changes into the rules, as far as I am hearing
I've,
anyway.
I've seen some changes.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to baseball pretty much at all, but I know that they're trying to make changes to make people like us that are used to faster paced games.
Mhm.
You know, football, they shortened the play clock, right? It wasn't 40, they shortened it down. They shortened down the time in between plays. I'm pretty sure they take less commercial breaks. They're trying to make the game more exciting. They're trying to make it more, because for me that was another reason why I don't love football.
It's very long.
You know, you're watching a 60-minute game and you're getting maybe 10 minutes of action.
Yeah.
You know, whereas you look at soccer, it's always going on. Sure, it's
Yeah.
not always
No
entertaining,
commercial breaks.
but there's no commercial breaks, and it's always the ball's moving. And hockey, the commercial breaks, it's like, okay, dude, come back from the commercial. I need to see what the fuck is going on. You know, because this game is fast paced as hell. You know, I mean, hockey for me is the fastest paced game on the planet. I mean, there's no way that there's, you know. So in terms of entertainment value, I mean, for me, the NHL is doing a decent job, but it could do a lot better in terms of marketing. So like I was saying, the players don't choose those sports because in the US it's always been football, baseball, and basketball. Basketball is kind of similar to hockey, where it's like the same pace,
Yeah.
but it's like the league is. I just don't like the NBA. Like the NBA, I find it's a garbage league. Like I just like the luxury tax teams aren't actually like built. You know, whatever. There's only 12 players, so one guy could really make a difference compared to like, you know, the other, like football. One guy, yes, can make a big difference, but dude, you got to have an offensive line. You got to have a defensive line. That's like, if there's one thing I respect about football, is that you need 55 guys, or you need 40 guys. You know, you need guys that
team sport, is it?
Exactly. You have no choice. You need offense, defense, special teams. You need all those guys to contribute to win a championship, which is what I love about it. Versus basketball, it's like, the big three. You know, everyone always has a big three. I mean, the big three can win you a championship. If you're gonna tell me 3 players can win me a championship, I don't like the sport. Just play a solo sport. Go play tennis. I love tennis. Great. Super exciting.
No, you're right. You're right.
So now, if more people, to get to my actual point, if more people in the U.S., kids and their parents, decide to put them into soccer, decide to put them into hockey, that's when these sports, can get more developed. Now in the U.S., it's definitely happening with hockey. You're seeing the development catch up, and I think that's also it's garbage on the lack of Hockey Canada and
I think
Canada and the part of Hockey Quebec.
I think they're starting to notice.
I mean, when you talk about like literally 0 elite players coming out of here for like the longest time, in terms of Quebec, I mean, like Lafreniere is like he's a great player, but
who was the last?
Not
who was the last one, right?
Right.
Who was the last one, right?
I mean, we're talking like Bergeron is our best player right? Which we're gonna get to after. Bergeron is the current best Quebec foreign national hockey league player. We're already laughing because it's the greatest thing in the world, but we're gonna get to it later. So I'll let you finish. I don't know if you remember what you were gonna say about the MLS.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of like finishing off what you said about like Americans choosing other sports over soccer, but lately. You're like you said, you're seeing the Americans like dominate in hockey. Coming now, you're seeing now the Americans coming in soccer.
Yeah.
10 years ago, when the American national soccer team, 90% of their players were from the MLS.
Yeah.
I saw their call up sheet.
Yeah.
For the Gold Cup that's coming up soon. 90% of their players, like 95 actually. I'm gonna do 95% of their players all play in Europe.
Yeah.
And all play in either England, Spain, Germany, or they either play in like Belgium, the Netherlands.
But first division teams typically.
First division teams, no second tier. They're all first division teams, and you're gonna start seeing. I'm telling you, the United States are gonna be a nation to take seriously
eventually
when it comes to the World Cup.
Absolutely.
I really believe, because they have the population to mass produce all these.
That's where I was going next, is that they have the population to do it, hence why when more kids choose other sports, when they have more opportunity to choose other sports, that's when you're going to really start to see the development of those sports. Granted, for us I don't know, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure soccer is the most played sport among youth, like until you get to high school, I believe is the most played sport in America. because football you're not allowed to play pretty much until you get to high school because dude really like you're gonna make your kid get hit in the head like 12 times a day. Not gonna happen until you're at least somewhat developed. And baseball's great, but pitchers are garbage until you get to 16, 17, 18 years old. So it's like not really fun, like not that it's not fun, but it's like
It's okay.
so whatever. Okay. I'm hitting a 50-mile-an-hour for a ball, like whatever. And what was I saying? The basketball. Basketball is the other one that like kids will play, but organized. It's easier to organize. Like soccer is a much more feasible sport for a lot of people. So
basketball too.
Yeah, but I mean, there's only 12 guys versus a soccer team. You can have up to 20, kind of thing. You can have more kids. It's a bigger development. Like there's more. As far as I know, soccer is actually played most until you get to high school. Then it becomes football, it becomes basketball, it becomes all those sports. So we'll see what happens in the MLS. That was kind of a weird turn we took because we started Serie A, but hey, I don't mind it because I think soccer is the global game, and eventually it's got to get everywhere, right? So, yeah, that's hey, good on them. In terms of development and Quebec players, I think we should go there because I want to make our audience laugh a little bit. I'm gonna share my screen and share one of the funniest tweets I think I've ever seen in my life.
You told me this. I had to take a double take on this.
One of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. So Marc-Olivier Baudin, who works for, I believe it's La Presse. I could be wrong. I'm just gonna check. Sorry, Marc-Olivier. No, sorry. He works for 919 Sport.
Okay. The radio station?
Yeah. No, he does work for La Presse. Okay, he works for also La Presse. So that's and he asks a couple of questions, I believe, in the press conferences. You hear Marc-Olivier Baudin once in a while.
Yeah.
He said, I'm gonna read it in French and then I'll translate. J'avais mis les Bruins en 7. So this started with like a completely non-related thing. Okay, so j'avais mis les Bruins en 7, mais je suis très très surpris quand même qu'il ferme les livres après seulement 5 matchs. Est-ce que ça pourrait influencer la décision d'Alex Ovechkin, lui qui vient joueur autonome sans compensation? À suivre. So basically he's saying, I picked the Bruins in 7 to win the series. Yeah. I'm very surprised that they finished in 5, as are we, I believe. Me and you, Frank, I believe.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Surprised that it went only 5. And he asks, okay, is this going to influence the decision about Ovechkin? And so I'm going to share my screen because some guy answers a completely non-related answer. But it might be one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life. I mean, if you're gonna tell me this is not one of the funniest things you've ever seen in your life, I mean, I don't know what it is.
There it is.
I mean, are you kidding me? Patrice Bergeron est le meilleur joueur québécois de tous les temps. Point barre. Point barre. So he says Patrice Bergeron is the best Quebec-born player of all time.
Yeah, to ever be played.
That's it.
No questions asked. Period.
So I just, for a fun exercise, okay? For a fun exercise, I pulled up, you can see up here, it says NHL players born in Quebec. Now let me pull up this list of who has the most points, okay?
Oh, God.
And I mean, there's at least 18 guys with more points in their careers. And I would say at least 15 of these guys I would take on my team before I take Patrice Bergeron.
Oh, yeah.
Minimum. I mean, my son's Mario Lemieux. Are you kidding me? The guy had a chance to be better than Gretzky if he wouldn't have been injured.
Yeah,
you're going to tell me this guy is not as good as Patrice Bergeron. And that's not including as well, by the way, Martin Brodeur and Patrick Roy. I would take any day on my team before I take Bergeron. And possibly even Luongo and Fleury, who are also top 4 in wins as Quebec players. So we're talking at least 16, 17 guys that I would take before I take Patrice Bergeron. Namely, Mario Lemieux, Ray Bourque, and Luc Robitaille, Marcel Dion, and Guy Lafleur. Talk about those top 5. I mean, who's touching these guys?
No, I don't think anybody's
touching these guys in Quebec, like ever. Like it's not gonna happen. Those are the best Quebec players to ever play the game. I mean, I don't think there's much of a question.
Well, even like Jean Beliveau at 10, like
and Mike Bossy,
Henri Richard, like
and Maurice.
Maurice is like, come on, like, how do you say like even like Vincent Le Cavalier?
I mean, listen, don't get me wrong, I love Bergeron.
Yeah, but he's not the best Quebec-born player of all time. Like, I think this guy smoked a little bit too much and forgot about Mario Lemieux, forgot about all these players that came before him.
It's just.
But like, wow, that's I don't know where this guy comes up with this. That's
I don't
a
know. I
really
just thought it was funny to share with the viewers. I think we'll probably retweet it or something and just post it up with like a. This might be even our cover photo, man. I mean, this for this video. This is just too. This is just too good, man.
Oh God.
All right, well, I'm getting out of here because that's ridiculous. Obviously, if you're looking at this here, this is it's kind of sad for McDavid. Well, I want to talk.
He needs to get out of the city.
Give him a chance, for fuck's sake. Give him a chance. I mean, just look at his face, man.
Oh boy.
Fuck, you want to give people some context here. What went on today? Because you told me to turn the game back on because I, like you, was like, fuck it, it's over.
Well, I thought it was over. So pretty much when we were getting ready to start recording, I was watching the game before, and Edmonton was winning 4-1.
By the way, it's currently 11:30, and we were gonna record at basically 9 p.m.
Yeah, but it went.
And we'll explain.
So pretty much, I'm going upstairs, getting my laptop, getting my stuff to get ready. I come downstairs and I look at the TV and I go 4-1 with there's like five minutes left, and I tell my dad, sorry,
in the third.
Yeah, third period.
Not second, not first. I
tell my dad, I go, why are you watching this still? I'm like, it's over. It's 4-1. Edmonton won this game. He's like, you never know. It's not over, eh? You never know. I'm like, I highly doubt it. I go downstairs. My dad comes. They scored 4-2. I go, what? I go, oh boy. Okay, they might have a chance.
4-2. Yeah.
They might have a chance. I come downstairs, turn on the TV. 4-3. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Then I get on. We get on FaceTime together. I'm like, Joel, you watching this game? I like, put it on.
And as you FaceTime,
as we say it, as I FaceTime, boom, 4-4. Oh my God!
I had opened the NHL.com website when we wanted to start recording to see what was on there, and then I saw that it was like, oh, it was like 4-2. Okay, it's 4-2. And Edmonton, they must have scored, but I didn't realize they had just scored. And then when you said it's 4-3, and then when you said it's 4-4, oh my God! And then I mean, what else can be said? Overtime, Nick Ehlers.
Overtime, they off the face-off gets it, nice wrist shot, top corner, beats Mike Smith, and he just bolts. Get the fuck out of here! I'm out of here. Well, he was pissed. He's pissed. McDavid looks
just dead. He looks like he's got no soul, man.
Nothing, but he's like, I gave everything to this game. He got 3 assists. What else more do you want?
What do you want more from the guy? I mean, listen, to me,
the best player in the league puts 3 assists and his team still loses.
Like, I mean, for me, as much as I listen, I've said it before on this show. I really like Mike Smith. I mean,
he's a fighter. I love the energy.
He battles. He competes. A couple of years ago when he was about 10 years ago or 8 years ago when he was on the Olympic team. I mean, the guy was there for a reason. He was one of the best puck stoppers at the time, just pure puck stoppers. Sorry, I was looking up because I was seeing the highlights from that game. Unbelievable. I mean, it's just Edmonton has not addressed the needs that they had for, I don't know, the last 10 years, man.
But I think they
got depth on this. They got depth in the center. Great, you have 2 of the best centers in the league. Maybe the 2 best centers in the league.
But they play
together. Top 5.
They play together.
2 of the top 5 centers in your league. You have maybe one winger that's really solid in Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who also plays center. So he's basically playing center on a third line.
Puljujarvi too is good.
Puljujarvi's good, but he's not.
He's come a long way this season. He's come a long way.
Yes, but I don't know how many teams how many teams is he a top 6 guy in?
Yeah, not a lot.
Like, where do you put him? Like, you playing with the Habs, where do you put him? And that's the Habs. It's not even a phenomenal team. Yeah. Right? I mean, I don't really think I have him in my top 6. So you got to think about how many teams he would be in a top 6 for, and they just don't have it. They don't have top 6 forwards. Their depth is not great.
But
they have maybe Archibald, who's like a pretty solid player in general.
Third line.
But I mean, it's they're third, fourth liners. I mean, they have no depth, and on defense, great. They got Tyson Barrie, great, phenomenal, great. He's a great defenseman. Great. They have Darnell Nurse that decides to play, although I don't really like his style of play, and I don't think he's a great defenseman. And I also think he's a piece of shit in general.
Yeah,
But that's just
yeah.
on
I was
the
gonna say
other
that.
side
Yeah,
of things, I'm not gonna start doing that. But whatever.
place
So you're talking about two defensemen, and maybe Ethan Bear that maybe could be something decent,
could
maybe,
could.
and pretty much no goaltending for the past 10 years.
Yeah, that's they struggle.
So you're telling me that this organization for the past 10 years has had the same problem: depth, defense, and goaltending,
Yeah, and they can't fix it.
and they have not done a single thing about it.
But
Not a single thing.
you know where they fucked up a lot of times. Well, they fucked up big time in the draft. It's
Yeah,
they
I mean, listen, the year Yakupov got drafted, there weren't that many.
no, but that year was that's not. I don't blame them for that
That's
year.
not
That
them.
year,
All right, I mean, Galchenyuk was in that draft as well.
like Morgan Riley should have won first in that year. That tells you a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does tell you a lot because even then it's like, okay.
But like going back, like I'm just gonna say like 2 points. Like going back to McDavid, I think where they were the mistake is a lot of people were saying is that he didn't do the same. He didn't make the same decision as Crosby made when he took his big contract.
Yeah.
Crosby took less money to bring in players around him.
To be fair, I mean the max salary when Crosby was around, I think was 9.5.
Yeah,
He only took what 800,000, which fine.
yeah,
But when he did it, and Malkin did it, and
yeah.
Letang did it,
Yeah, a lot of
that's a big difference. That's at least one solid player.
I think that's where McDavid I think screwed up. I think he should have he look take less money and take maybe instead of 8 years, take 5. You're gonna get you're the best player in the league. Cash in money like where you could make like 3-4 year deals and just get paid every time.
But the problem is he's got to prove it, and he's got to barring like he could get injured, and then the next year he doesn't get.
Yeah, but he could prove it. He could prove it. We like he's unbelievable.
On Sportsnet Central right now, they have Caulfield's face stapled to the.
And like the last point that I'm gonna make.
Yeah, go ahead.
Again, linking it to Crosby.
Yeah.
This is why I still to this day, as much as I find McDavid to be unreal, I take Crosby on my team any day.
In the playoffs.
In the playoffs, regular season.
Any situation.
Yes, I take Crosby.
I guess all round situations, yeah. I mean, I guess you would take
Crosby
because he just knows how to win, man.
Besides the winning part, Crosby makes everyone around him 10 times better.
I mean, you can't listen. Zach Kassian is not a top 6 forward. The guy cannot score 20 goals, but playing with McDavid, you can score 20 goals.
Crosby made Chris Kunitz make the Olympic team. Don't tell me
of course.
Without Crosby.
Listen, Kunitz is a good player, but
yes, but without Crosby, he ain't making it.
No, of course not. Of course not.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And
Pascal Dupuis, that's another example, right? Jay Gensel,
Jay Gensel is a little bit better of a player than
yes, but
guys.
without Crosby, I don't think he's the same.
Might not have been as good. Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Brian Rust. I can name you a list of players that played with Crosby, and these guys.
Dude, I mean, you get the phone call or you get the lineup posted in the locker room like I'm playing with Crosby. Fucking great, bro. Like my life is complete. Are you kidding me?
So I don't know what it is with McDavid. I don't know. I just feel like he.
I think we somewhat.
I don't know. I don't have the answer.
It last time. I mean, we explained it last time a little bit in that Crosby, he makes everyone better by slowing everything down.
Yeah.
Taking control of the play.
Making everyone catch up, right?
And making everybody like just make it work with everybody around. McDavid's individual skills are just so far ahead of everybody else.
I think he tries to do it all by himself.
Yeah, but he can. That's the thing, is that he can.
Yeah,
he had 3 assists tonight, and he did all the work.
Yeah, but regular season, that's fine.
No, I get it. But I mean, listen to me. Playoffs, if you have 3 points and you have 3 goals, 4 goals on the board, you're winning 4-1, you have to win the game.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's defense and that's goaltending that the problem was there.
Yeah.
It's not McDavid's fault that they lost tonight.
No. I'm not blaming it on him.
But you get what I'm saying? Like the problem is with him, he's so good, he could do pretty much everything. He's like the Messi of hockey right now.
Yeah.
In that sense. Like if you want to compare players, like I don't know who the Ronaldo would be, but like
Matthews?
I guess Matthews. Yeah, I guess Matthews would be the Ronaldo, and that he finishes every play and kind of just is a big body, and yeah, I mean, yeah, that's actually a pretty good comparison. So I guess like Matthews would be the Ronaldo, but McDavid is the Messi. I mean, he can take the ball from half field and fucking go score a goal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what he does. He takes the puck from behind his net and just goes, and he can do it. That's what it is. Obviously, soccer is a little bit different of a sport where you
Need a team.
need 11 guys kind of thing to
Yeah.
score a goal. But this is it's a closed arena. The game is as fast paced as any, and this guy's just so much faster than everyone else. So I think he's like the only guy who can actually just do it by himself. I mean, Crosby had a little bit of that when he came
at the beginning.
2006, 2007, 2008. He kind of had that where he can take a play from one end to the other.
But I think
After that, I mean, after he won the cup, he didn't do that anymore. I find he didn't.
I think he learned that he needs a team around. He needs his team.
And fair enough, he did it, and he's a goddamn winner. And the guy scored the most important goal in probably Canadian history since freaking Paul Henderson in '72 or whatever the hell that was. I mean, that's the. I mean, if you're gonna tell me, I mean, that's the. Listen, I wasn't alive in the '70s.
No.
In my lifetime, that's the most important Canadian goal ever. Of course, easily.
Like,
with lights out, like not even a question. Yeah, that's easily the best Canadian goal. And if you think about all the other things he's done in his career, it's just it's easy. I mean, obviously, first ballot Hall of Famer, no questions asked. I mean, I think McDavid will be the same thing whether he wins a cup or not. The guy's just the most good player I've ever seen in my life. It's not even close.
I don't know where he goes from now. I don't know what do you do as an organization in Edmonton.
Yeah.
What do you do?
What do you do? Speaking of getting out of town. The St. Louis Blues are heading out of town.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting a sweep. I think Colorado's the way better team.
They had a lot of injuries.
St. Louis, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, but
David Perron that wasn't there. He's a big playoff guy.
He's like probably the quietest superstar style player. Like he's got superstar skill, I find.
He's good.
But he's just like underrated. Like he's just like not. He doesn't. I think it's because he didn't have consistency at the beginning of his career, so people are like, "What is this guy gonna be?"
He was a late bloomer. He's a late bloomer.
Dude, I'm pretty sure he played midget B.
Yes, he did.
I believe he played midget B.
His story is one of the
most. It's unbelievable. How the hell did you play midget B?
He played. It's funny. I know the story. He played midget B. He was playing like a regular season midget B game, and I think after them there was, I think a junior AAA game or some high level hockey game. That again, right place at the right time. Some scout came 15 minutes early, right? 30 minutes before a game.
I said, holy shit, the second skate. Yeah.
Junior B was playing, and he was like, "Who the fuck's this guy playing Junior B? Like ripping it."
Oh yeah, Junior B. That makes sense.
Oh, it's Junior B. Like literally, bro.
You're midget B. For some reason, I thought it was midget, but it could anyway. Whatever. Regardless, it's house league hockey.
Yeah, and fucking found him, and he's like, "Well, this player doesn't belong here," and that's how. I guess that's his story.
And do you know why he was playing there?
Why I don't know. Look. What I think is, I guess he just didn't think he was going anywhere.
I guess he didn't. He just wanted to play with.
And another thing I think is the Quebec system of developing hockey here. At 16, your career is over. If you're not play.
That's something that can be said. I believe. I mean, even if you think about players who've made it, I think they'll all agree as well that if you don't make it to midget AAA by the time you're 16, your career is absolutely.
Everyone says it. Like I've heard it say, if you're not playing midget AAA at 15 years old, at 16 years old, first year midget, you're not playing AAA.
Well, I mean, first year midget is 15.
Yeah. Well, if you're not playing
for most guys, depends on when you're born.
But if you don't make midget AAA, your hockey career is done. But in the States, at 16, it starts. Your hockey career starts at 16. Starts at 15.
It's kind of
I don't understand the logic in that, right?
I mean, I think the real reason was because we had so much elite talent that by the age of 16, we knew who was going to make it.
Yeah, we could pick, right?
So we had 20 guys that could potentially make the NHL at 16. But now that's not the case anymore. One, because the league's gotten so much better. Because of the globalization of the sport and other players are playing.
We have to change the way we think. Yeah.
But it's also just to do with the fact that, the development since, I guess I would say,
it's good.
I would say probably since the time that I left, right? So I left in 2013, right? 2013.
Yeah,
I
around
left
there.
in 2013, so I'd say by the 2010s, it's a pretty much broken system from that time.
But it's been a while like this.
And it's been at least 10 years, and I'm sure people who came before me could also, say the same thing. I mean, there's a big reason that, I was in kind of the end of that first wave of kids that went to the States to play. If I think about guys that went before me, obviously Callum Booth was my age, but went there a year before I did. If I think about Vincent Gisanti, who didn't end up playing, but I believe was one of the first to go, and he's like 2 or 3 years older than me. Guerrera, who played at Buffalo State. There's a couple guys that I can name off the top of my head that realized that, listen, I'm a great hockey player, but it's not working out here. Let's get the hell out of here because I can make it another way. And what's good over there, kind of thing, is that you get the education at the same time.
It's sad. It's sad.
So
getting off topic though.
Yeah, getting a little off topic. Sorry.
So we're saying about the Blues, they had a lot of injuries, right? They had Perron, they had Vince Dunn, and they had Justin Falk, who they pretty much took out.
Yeah, Justin Falk. Talk about 8-game suspension.
Right there, that's 3 key pieces in the Blues.
Yeah.
Binghamton.
Talk about Binnington just not playing his best hockey.
Not playing hockey like we know he's able to. And
here's the thing for me with Binnington. I don't know if I'm cutting you off, but
no, I was done.
There's some guys, we were talking about this before with Spencer Knight, because we believe he's going to actually be the starter for Florida next game.
Yeah.
We're talking about him and Bobrovsky in the sense that Bobrovsky, when he used to make goals go in, before he was Vezina caliber, a lot of them weren't really mental errors. A lot of them were actually errors in technique, which for me is kind of a crack in the armor.
Yeah.
Because when you're 26, 27, 28, 29, maybe even 30,
you need the technique because
you need the technique, but you can also kind of get away with a little bit of athleticism, right? Bobrovsky is a very athletic, kind of stretchy goalie, flexible in that sense. So he can kind of get away with being out of position, could kind of get away with getting up and reacting in the wrong way. But now he's a little older. He's got his big contract, and his technical mistakes are showing. I mean, obviously, you let in just a goal, like on a first shot, that's an issue. But it's more the way he plays the game, manages the game. That's where the issue was. And so you give a guy like that $10.5 million versus a guy like Carey Price, $10.5 million, who that his technique is literally flawless. Like in terms of the way he plays goal is flawless. In my opinion, he's the best goalie to ever play in the butterfly position. Like Patrick Roy invented the butterfly.
Yeah.
And I like to say Carey Price has perfected it in the sense that he just plays the way every butterfly goalie should think about playing.
Like now, like Carey doesn't have to rely on like jumping or these athletic skills anymore. Exactly. Like technical, right, at the right place at the right time.
And it's very similar to what people are saying about other goalies, where you look at I don't know, people used to look at Jonathan Quick, same thing.
Yeah,
he used to make outstanding save. Vasilevsky, same thing. But I'll reserve my rights on Vasilevsky because I think he's a really good goalie anyway, positioning wise. But goalies that were super athletic like that, people were like, "Oh my god, he makes great saves." Or like Fleury, used to make great, phenomenal. He still makes great.
I don't know.
Yeah. And those guys, it's like, well, you don't see Carey Price making many of those unless he has to, like that 2-on-1 against Marner. Yeah. Why? Because he's always in the right spot. He's always playing the way he's supposed to play. So that's my issue with Bobrovsky, and I think it's kind of the same thing with Binnington, in that he got hot.
Yeah.
And there were cracks in his technique. I mean, the guy was ECHL, AHL for a long time. His attitude has a lot to do with it, I can tell you that, because I don't think he has a winner's attitude whatsoever. I think he's got a cocky attitude. I think he's better than he is, and I think he might put in the work, or he might have put in the work to get here. But I just don't like the way he approaches the game. I mean, anybody who thinks they're going to just go beat up guys on the other team as they're coming off the ice, I mean, I think there's something that's not going on properly in there. So for me, Binnington, I think that was my issue, is that both technically and then between the years, he wasn't all there. So it's like, how can this guy be your number one? Was my real, like, oh boy, okay. Like, I like the idea. I would have loved the idea of him and Jake Allen splitting, because I think Jake Allen's really good technically, and he just didn't have the endurance and the mentality to stay for 62 games or 72 games in a year. So it would have been great for them to play 50-30 or 45-40 or whatever it is, 45-38. Can't even do math. 45-37 is the math there. Not even. No, it is. 45-37. 45-37 would be 82 games. So something like that would be great in that situation, but I don't think Binnington's the kind of guy who can go 62 games plus 16 games in the playoffs, 20 games in the playoffs, 25 games. I don't think that was the guy. So he got hot. They won a cup. Good for them. St. Louis deserved the cup. That was a great team. That was a great year. That was a great run. Love that they beat the Bruins in the finals. Whatever. But they're out, and I think reasonably so. I don't think that was too much of a thing. I wasn't expecting 4.
Yeah, 4-0.
That's it.
Now,
so we have our first sweep.
We have our first sweep.
Speaking of the Bruins losing, the Bruins came really close to a sweep, and the gentleman's sweep, as we call it, where they let Washington win the first game, and then swept the rest of the 4. I watched most of the games.
Yeah, me too.
Boston was.
They were all close games. They were all.
But they were the better team.
Huh?
I just found that they were the better team.
Look, once you go in overtime.
Yeah, of course.
You go in overtime. It's a flip of a coin, right? And they went in overtime the first 3 games. Washington could have easily won those 3 games.
Yeah.
They won 1. They could have easily won those 2 games.
Yeah, but still.
The third. Did you see the third overtime when their goalie made a mistake behind the net?
Yeah, but that's part of the game. You can't make that kind of mistake.
He fucking lost it, Obi.
You can't make that kind of mistake.
You see, he was probably screaming in Russian. He was talking. Oh yeah, 100%. He ripped him in Russian. 100%.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
I didn't see them in 5 either. I thought it was gonna go a long series like that.
I thought it would. I had picked Washington in 7, and then as a team we decided, okay, we're gonna switch it to Boston.
Yeah, we put Boston in 6.
So we ended up being right.
Yeah,
just in one less game, just in one more game.
We're 2 for 2.
So we're now 2 for 2.
Tomorrow
we're probably gonna lose the Winnipeg one. No, actually, we put the Winnipeg. Sorry, I had put Edmonton. So Franco's doing a lot better than I am. My bracket's already almost.
But the only thing is we put Winnipeg in 7. What?
Winnipeg might be the second sweep of the series. And yeah, I guess we'll kind of just end it on the Habs here.
Yeah.
Listen, last game was kind of a bit of a mess. I really liked our first period.
Yeah.
Sure, they scored towards the end, but
doesn't matter. We played.
I thought we were outplaying them. I thought we had most of the puck possession, most of the action was going on in our zone. I think we neutralized defensively very, very well in the first period. And listen, you know me. Everybody knows me. I never blame the refs for a game.
Fuck the refs.
Problem is they didn't help. First of all, the ref was not where he should have been on that play. I get he's behind the net. He's trying to get a good angle.
On what?
I don't know, on the first goal there. I mean, it went off the ref and then just.
Oh yeah, yes.
Playing front for them.
Mickelson try to bring it back.
Yeah. So there's a lot of people, especially like in my family group chats. Oh, why didn't he go the other way? Why didn't he clear the puck out?
My dad was the same thing. My dad lost it on
me. You have to understand that you have to watch the rest of the game as well. The whole game, nobody did what the opposite. Nobody did anything other than take the puck back and regroup and come up.
That's
our system. That's the way we want to play. That's the way we want to re-attack. If we're stuck in our zone, get the puck back to the D. If anything, the D is facing up ice. I think that's honestly the main reason is that their feet are up ice and they see what's in front of them. Instead of Lehkonen turning into traffic, maybe getting nailed, and definitely having a guy pinch on you, and definitely having another pressure. What's the point of turning it over at the top of the zone? Where if we turn it over at the bottom of the zone, at least we have 2 defensemen that can go in with a third forward and have support. So turning the puck over down low is way easier most times than turning the puck over up high, where the guys can come in with a little bit of action, a little bit of speed.
Because up high, they're facing our net, right?
Yeah, so they're facing our net, but we're also facing up ice.
Yeah.
And so you kind of have to okay, I'm backing up now. So they're coming in and you're going to oh shit, I was going this way, but I got to come this way.
Can I catch you
versus in the corner, everyone's going to the corner, right? So nobody's facing any other way. The only guy who's facing the other way is the defenseman who might be turning up ice, which is great. So people have to understand that you have to. That's the system we're playing. That's the system most teams play. Most teams don't say, hey, if you're in danger, turn towards the blue line. That's not what happens most of the time. If you can get the puck out, maybe I would have liked Lecky to chip the puck off the glass. Maybe.
That's a hard play.
But you understand where he was also on the ice?
Yeah.
Like he's on his backhand.
Yeah.
He's not whipping the puck across the ice.
He's below the hash.
And he's below the hash mark. So try to turn around, flip the puck off the glass. It's not going to happen. You put the puck back in the corner. You let your defenseman handle it. If they want to clear it off the glass, they have a better angle. They might not have to ice it, because if he's doing that, he's probably icing it. Or worse, he's throwing it up over the glass and he's getting a penalty.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
So there's less in the NHL, man. It's just the least amount of mistakes possible. Turning up ice would have led to 3, 4, 5 mistakes, whereas turning down towards our zone, the worst thing that can happen is you lose a puck battle. That's the worst thing that could have happened, and you still have time to recover off of that. Carey can see the puck coming. Carey, like you have the chance of getting rid of it. But I guess
unlucky play.
People that didn't, that don't watch hockey, it's also an unlucky play off the referee. So you gotta, whatever. It is what it is. So that's why I wasn't really worried, because at 1-1 we were playing better. We had control. They had a couple of times in the zone, but.
Do you have I have an opinion. Do you think when it hits the ref, do you think we should stop the play?
No, I think that's too.
If there's a goal, if it leads to a goal, do you think it should be turned back? Like in soccer, if it hits the ref stops the play and gives the team who had the possession the ball from there.
Problem is you can't do that, right?
No, but
problem is I can't say, here, take the puck at the blue line and start again, right?
No. But let's see if it leads to a goal, wave it off, face off.
But then you're not. But then the team, it's 50-50 face off again, right? You're not sure what's happening. There's no way to, because let's say, listen, it's inevitable. The ref is going to be in a spot where the puck hits him, right? No matter what, it doesn't necessarily have to lead to a goal, but in the game, it's going to happen. So if that happens and it leads to a goal, then you're saying, no, it's no goal, face off. First of all, the team just worked their ass off to get a goal, especially in the playoffs, where defense is harder and whatever. And second of all, there's no way for you to reward the team for scoring other than giving them the puck, but you can't do that.
Yeah. Right?
The rules don't allow for that. So I don't think so. I mean, look, Roberto Luongo got scored on literally by a referee. The guy shot the puck in, it hit off the referee, it went under him. Well counted. I mean, got to be aware of your surroundings. I mean, the guys were tired at that point. They'd been on the ice for at least a minute. And that was probably the most sustained pressure the Leafs had the whole period. That's what happens. You force a bad play, you force a bad turnover. I mean, credit to the Leafs on the play, I guess, really, right? So it is what it is. It's unlucky. I thought we still played the better first period. And then you got to the second, and I don't know, soft call on Gallagher.
Penalties killed us. Like the four penalties in a row. Was it 4-5?
It was 5. It was 4 in the second, and then 1 in the third. 1 or 2 in the third.
You saw after we killed after
you killed the second penalty,
we were flat. We were dead.
There's nothing there, man. The guys are dead. Dano can't go on the ice against who he has to go on the ice against. You don't have Evans anymore. I mean, it screws up everything. We played 8 minutes, I think, shorthanded in the second period.
It's the same. Like what? 3 sets of forwards that are going on.
It's literally the 6 guys playing, and that's it.
They're dead tired.
It's Byron Armia, Suzuki once in a while. They try not even to play him on the PK because he's too important. Toffoli, who's also important and shouldn't be playing on the PK, in my opinion, because he's slow and he needs energy for when he needs to play offense. And Dano, obviously, and Lehkonen. So you're talking about those 6 guys that are basically the only guys playing. And then you talk about the defensemen.
Yeah, that's Weber.
Sherratt, Weber, and Petrie Edmondson. That's it. The other guys don't touch the ice, man.
Merrill
once in a while. Merrill once in a while, but I mean, it's usually those guys, right? So
that killed us, and it showed in the third period. We had no legs. We had no oomph. We had no
So in that sense, I get it. But the only thing I didn't like from the game is the fact that we didn't make it hard for them in the third period. I think I get it that it's you have no more legs. You're not tired, right? Just make it as hard as you can for them to play. Sure, little cross checks here and there, whatever. That's fine. I'm all for it. It's the playoffs, as long as you're not hurting anyone.
Like just send the message that next game
that's fine. Yeah, that's what it is. The next game, it's not going to be easy to win against us. We're not going to get 5, 6, 7 calls in a row. It's not going to happen again.
Right.
I mean, there's no way that happens again. Soft call on Gallagher. Soft call on Lehkonen, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That also follows a game before. Very soft call on Toffoli, where he wasn't in between his hands. The hooking call. It was underneath the stick. Very soft call there. You're talking about some really soft calls where it's like, okay, are we playing playoff hockey? Because I don't know. Because last game, I don't know who it was on Edmonton. Guy was in front of the net. Guy slashed the stick, almost broke it.
It was this game. This game.
No, yeah, this game right now. Yeah, exactly. So there needs to be some sort of like, okay, we're not calling a lot today.
I don't know.
Or okay, we're calling everything today. At least have it be consistent and have it be played for both teams. I mean, if I'm Dominic Ducharme and I see that holding call that should have been called in the corner against Dano, I see the Wayne Simmons wrapping around a guy's head coming into the zone, literally like wrapping his arms around the guy's head when he doesn't have the puck or anything. And you look at Matthews hitting Gallagher when the puck is not even close to the play and he's not looking. Gallagher's not paying attention. He's not bracing himself. Arguable the hit on Kotkaniemi. I don't think it was a penalty, but some people said, hey, hit him from behind. You shouldn't have, whatever. I think Kotkaniemi put himself in that position. But if you're thinking about it, if you're going to call soft calls one way, you're going to have to call soft calls on the side. So you're talking about at least 3 calls that could have been called, maybe a 4th that just didn't happen in the game.
Yeah.
So, like I said, don't like to blame the referees. But at the same time, we had a great first period, and I think our second period would have been a lot better if we didn't have to kill off 9 minutes of penalties, 10 minutes of penalties. So, and then you add to the fact that it was the stupidest challenge in the history of time that happened in the second period. I'm not even going to talk about it because it's literally the stupidest decision I've ever seen in my life. As soon as they called it, I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
But like the thing that pisses me off, two things that kind of piss me off, is that like when we watch all the other series and it's like, okay, they're reffing it like playoff hockey, like
bro, Tampa, Florida, nothing gets called, man.
Like the only time like you get 2 minutes in front of the net for roughing or a scrum is when you take it too far.
Yeah.
When you give like an extra shot for no reason. All right.
But if you're just trying to clear the net,
yeah,
you're not gonna get a cross-checking penalty.
Like the Gallagher and was it TJ Brody?
That was first of all they both hit each other.
Both hit each other in the face. If you're gonna call Gallagher, you call the other guy offsetting.
Also after the whistle.
Yeah.
So it's not like he was in play. It's not like he inhibited him from doing anything.
You call 2 offsetting minors. You keep playing 5-on-5 or 4-on-4.
4-on-4, whatever.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
And the other thing that I was gonna say that pissed me off is like, why are you challenging that? Like that was the stupidest challenge. Like I understand it's a 2-1 game. They just made it 3-1. It's a 50-50 challenge.
Not even 50-50. That's the thing is like you have to think like really hard that Thornton was really inhibiting him from making a save. I mean, Carey didn't even react.
It wasn't. If like I was gonna say, if Thornton was looking at Price, yes, but he was looking the other way and his stick was like this, right?
He was waiting for a deflection of some sort.
Yeah, he was so he had no intentions. There was no intentions of deflecting Price's stick to make it go in, right?
He might have touched him, but
I don't believe that.
It's not even enough to say.
And I'm telling you, I'm gonna say. I said this yesterday. I said this to everyone that I talked to about the call. Bergevin made that call.
Yeah, of course, and I think he made it emotionally.
That's bullshit. Do not make that call. Your job is to put a team on the ice, not to coach. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. To me, that's bad GM. That's a bad fucking.
That's also a very bad look because you have to know that the cameras are on you.
Oh, you purely saw cameras are on him,
and already there's people rumbling. Oh, Ducharme can't do what he wants to do with the team. Ducharme can't put the players he wants on the ice.
That just proved it.
Ducharme loves youth. He loves speed and he loves youth. That's why he didn't have Lehkonen in the lineup because he was playing guys like Kotkaniemi and guys like Evans and stuff like that. He was putting them in the lineup because those guys were faster. They provided more offense. They provided more. All of a sudden, he became the veteran coach, the guy who loves veterans. So already your rumblings of, Ducharme's not actually coaching. And now you add to the fact that he clearly made that call.
To me, it shows his hands are tied. And upstairs, they're calling the shots, and that's it. Because Bergevin knows his job is on the line. He knows that if he's gone, Ducharme's gone, so whatever. Like, he doesn't care about him. Yeah. He's worried about his job before anybody else.
Yeah, and I think that was super evident with Stefan Waite.
Yeah.
His firing, I don't know if you heard his interviews afterwards.
No.
super obvious that like
He said it. But he said to Stefan, like he said, like if Kerry doesn't come back, like get back on his horse, you're gone. Kerry was in, he was like this, out. I told you.
Listen, if you want me to go into another freaking goalie tangent because I can go on 100 of them, but Sean Burke came in, right? Sean Burke's known for telling older goalies who are bigger to stay a little bit deeper in their net. Okay, in the regular season, both Carey Price and Jake Allen. Jake Allen should not be doing that because he's not big enough to do that.
He's not.
He's a quick goalie. Sure, he'll have an extra second, half a second to react, but he's not big enough to do that. And Carey Price has never been the goalie to start doing that. He's not Lundqvist. He's not Smith. He's not Bishop. He's not like a massive and over whatever. And he's definitely not used. Like Lundqvist wasn't the biggest, but that's how he played his whole career. So he's used to it. You can't make a change that it shouldn't be the way you're playing, and then you're like, it's not even something you're used to doing. Forget it. You're making that change mid-season. What I love about Price now is I honestly think he told Sean Burke, buddy, I've played in the playoff 56 times. I know what the fuck I'm supposed to do, and I know how to save a puck in the playoffs. He's aggressive. He's out of his blue paint when there's a shot opportunity.
Oh, yeah, I've noticed.
Sliding across the ice whenever he needs to. He's square to the puck all the time. He's not deep in his net. He's challenging every play. To me, that means he told Sean Burke, or Sean Burke told him, hey, Carey, just do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Like right now, it's hands off. Sean Burke has nothing. He's maybe working on some techniques near the posts, or something that's a little bit maybe that Price wants to work on with oh maybe I'm lacking a little bit here, or I'm lacking a little bit there. Let's run some drills. Definitely something that Carey would do. But at this point, it's Carey, run with the game that you're comfortable with. Run with the game that's had you 936 for the past 19 playoff games. Do whatever you did. Just keep doing.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy with Price's performances. Obviously, last game is
look
for him. I mean, you can't expect him whatever.
Carey was solid again. Carey played an excellent game. I don't blame him on the goals.
Carey was playoff Carey again.
It was just we had no offense. There was no hunger from the forwards. Now this is going to lead me into my question: do we make changes for this next game tomorrow? Does Caulfield come in? That's the big question.
What are your thoughts? I mean, listen, I feel like already. Yeah, go ahead.
My heart is telling me I want him in. Put the kid in. He has to play.
Yeah.
But my hockey IQ and my hockey knowledge, I don't think he's coming in. Game 3, I don't think he's coming. I think Ducharme is gonna wait. He's gonna stay with the same lineup. If Evans is able to come back, he might come back, or they might save him for one more game, and they might go with the same lineup as last game. Maybe Romanov comes in. I don't know.
Yeah,
if we lose, Caulfield in, Romanov's in 100% for Game 4.
Yeah. So here, that I think that's 100%. I think the issue is the penalties skewed last game's our thought process.
Yeah. So I think that's why we're gonna go with the same lineup.
Because in the first period, I don't think we had any issues really.
This is why we're gonna go with the same lineup, yeah.
But the problem is there are still guys that I think aren't as effective as maybe they could be. Yeah. Prime example is Tatar. Prime example is Armia. The problem is Armia has made 2 plays that led to goals.
Yeah, this guy
you cannot take the guy out of the lineuap. That's just what it is. He hasn't really made any defensive mistakes. He's turned the puck over, sure, but everybody turns the puck over.
You're gonna take out a guy who kills penalties.
Exactly. So you're talking about a guy that's a specialty player that, first of all, Ducharme loves more than probably any other player on the team.
Yeah, because he could play many. Right?
Potential. I'm not into the whole Armia project. I think we should have got rid of him at the deadline. I think we could have got a lot for him. But whatever, it is what it is. I think that he's got to stay in because he's made 2 plays. Basically, he's made 2 plays and he's going to stay in the lineup, in my opinion. So that leaves Tatar, who had literally no shots in 13 minutes or 12 minutes of ice time yesterday.
Yeah, but now you're going to take him out to break up the Gallagher line, right?
Gallagher hasn't shown me anything either. Gallagher's at maybe 65%. I'm telling you right now, Gallagher is not at 100%. He's not even close to 100%. And to me, for him, sit the fuck down. He is our captain. Okay,
he won't sit down.
He is our captain. Yeah. But if I'm a smart leader, and I know that I'm not bringing anything to the table, I'm telling my coach, I'm not
I've
in.
never seen a player sit himself out because he was hurt.
But that's the problem, is that you have to understand that yes, you say I put the team first. You say I give my all for the team. I give my all for the team. But there's kind of a switch that has to happen in mentality. Like, fuck, we have guys that can play.
Yeah.
You know, and guys that are going to be in our future top six for the next 10 years. You know, in Caulfield, basically.
Yeah.
So I don't want Gallagher out.
I don't. I mean, I don't,
You know,
because you never
which
know,
is
man.
why I low key. There was a thing where I think they were saying, I don't know what the situation was, but I think Gallagher was something about a suspension. Somebody mentioned something about Gallagher getting suspended. I don't know why. I don't know if it was something of a hit. I think Sportsnet or something said something like that. And I'm like, you know what? That might even not be the worst thing that happens, because he can rest, and we can put in a guy that is at 100%.
Yeah.
So for me, I think tomorrow, what I would like to see is Tatar out and Caulfield in.
I don't see that happening.
And I would really love, I said it on Twitter the other day, I would really love to have an offensively gifted line together. In Anderson on the left wing, Suzuki in the middle, and Caulfield on the right. We've already seen the chemistry between Suzuki and Caulfield.
Yeah.
Scotty Bowman used to say, you're not building trios, you're building duos, and you're just adding a player. Anderson's a fucking unbelievable machine.
I think
So
it would.
he will take up so much space on the ice. He'll make space for people. He'll win puck battles. And that'll get Suzuki open. That'll get Caulfield open. Suzuki will win puck battles as well, and he'll get the puck to Caulfield. Caulfield's a scorer. Anderson's a scorer.
That's a good idea.
Great score. So those are guys that are offensively gifted. I would tell them, hey guys, be responsible defensively. Do all the things we talk about in practice. Do all the things we talk about with film. You know, do all those things. But your goal, you know, is to go score a goal. Mm-hmm. Caulfield, you want to take off a little bit early in the zone. If you see there's a potential, take off a little bit early. Anderson, you see that you got a little shot, whatever, chip the puck off the boards, go. You know, don't wait, just go. Draw a penalty, do something. I mean, dude, Anderson comes at you, you cannot beat him. Like of course, like you know, so just chip the puck by somebody and go. Like worst case, you draw a penalty for interference, right? If they don't have support on the puck. So that's a line that I would say, okay, let's play these guys against the old man line, the grumpy old men line, as Steve Dangle likes to call them. And Spezza and Thornton. I mean, if I'm a home, if I have the home change,
we are now.
I'm playing Suzuki, Caulfield, and Anderson against that line all fucking day. They have 10 minutes of ice time. Every 10 of those minutes, those guys are on the ice.
They get caught, you change whatever's your forward line.
Those are the guys that are on the ice as much as possible, and then you play them against the third line as well. And if it happens that you're on the ice at the same time as Matthews and Marner, or as Nylander, fine, they can probably do the job. Suzuki's really good. Anderson's really heavy. Caulfield's learning, but I'm sure he can cover a point guy. You know, like you're a winger. You don't have the most defensive responsibilities in the world, you know? So I don't think that's an issue. And then you can have three lines that are solid defensively, that you can play pretty much against every line, but that you have a line, let's say, like the Byron, Lehkonen, and KK line, that for sure can give you some offense, because KK is offensively gifted, and those other two guys are just horses as well in terms of work ethic, right? So those guys can create some havoc. And then your Dano line is kind of your standard defensive line. I mean, he's also offensively pretty good. I mean, he's not bad.
If that line gets going, we're actually.
What I'm saying, so you're talking about that line. You're probably going to move, let's say, Toffoli with them instead of Tatar if you bring Caulfield in for him. And then you have the fourth line of you play them sporadically. You play them in special situations. Stahl, Perry, and Armia.
Yeah.
So.
But then the problem is, like, I feel like the fourth line's a little slow. Lacking.
Yeah, I mean, it would be pretty much slow in any situation. The only reason it's fast now is because of Anderson.
Yeah, but like
it's just him.
but I think that's why Ducharme did that, right, to balance up the lines. We were away, so I guess we'll.
But at this point, dude, you got to win games.
Yeah,
roll 3 lines.
I guess
they're not going to give you everything. Roll 3 lines.
We'll find out. We'll find out tomorrow on the press conference who's in and who's out.
I'd love to see Evans in. I think he'll be fine in the playoffs. Obviously, he didn't have the best first game, but I think partially he was probably.
The reason why I think Evans makes a difference is because it gives Dano time to rest, and he could play. He could afford to play Evans against either Tavares. Well, he's not there anymore.
Yeah,
Tavares or Matthews. Like, you know what I mean? If they were both there. So
we didn't even talk about it, I don't think, on the podcast, Tavares.
No, that he got hurt?
Yeah.
No.
I don't even think we did. I don't even know if we want to go into it, but we're already at about an hour, so don't want to make it too long. But go ahead, yeah. You could play
No, I was just saying like
against.
Evans makes a big difference. You know, he gets Dano to rest a lot. Evans gets to take on a bit of the load of like shutting down players, and he does a good job at it. I think he knows that's his career. He knows that's what he has to do to stay
Yeah,
in the NHL, and
maybe
he
third,
does it
fourth line guy with 20 minutes
perfectly.
of ice time, and it's going to be great.
That
Like
kid's young, so he has legs. So and it showed. It showed last game that without Evans, Dano had a hard time because
and because he had to kill penalties.
yeah,
So you're talking about a guy who's doing like triple duty, basically. You're telling him, hey,
that's,
go
I
out
know
there,
it's not his fault.
play against probably the best scorer in the league.
Well, it
First
doesn't
of all.
help because it doesn't help that the coach doesn't trust KK to
Yeah.
take on those minutes, right?
Then okay, after you finish playing against Matthews once, go play against him again on the penalty kill.
Yeah.
Okay, and once you've done that, also try to go
I'm
score a
on
goal
fine.
once in a while.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Like,
there you go.
you're
Ask him
telling
about.
Dano to do too much, man. I love Dano as a player, but you
Yeah.
can't tell him to do too much.
See, this it shows. This is where it shows where he's not a number one center. He can do everything, right? He
Yeah,
needs to be behind him.
yeah, he's great at being able to do everything, but he can't do everything at once. That's the
Yeah.
problem. He can play one game where he shuts down on the PK and scores a goal, or and has a point.
He needs to focus on one thing.
Yeah, but it's got to be one, maybe two things, right? So if it's one game, we got a ton of penalties. Okay, we got to have him on the PK, and then you got to be able to put Evans on when at 5-on-5 against Matthews or against someone else. That's okay. This is a threat. Versus now, you're asking Dano to take on 90% of the load.
Yeah.
Suzuki takes a little bit of it on the PK as a centerman, not much. On the PK, obviously Byron and Lehkonen, but at even strength, and that's the other thing too, is that once you get one penalty, two penalties, three penalties,
Yeah.
I mean, what are the chances of you scoring a shorty at that point?
Very slim.
Like you're talking about guys that have been killing penalties, going back and forth, start and stop for 6 minutes, 8 minutes.
Yeah, the chances.
Byron getting a breakaway like he
Very
did the other game. I mean, how's that going to happen when he's on the ice for a minute and a half?
The odds of us getting scored are much higher than us killing it.
Yeah, once the more penalties you take, I mean, yeah, it's just obvious. So
we got to be better,
we got to be more disciplined. Sure, the refs may not have helped, but we definitely have to be more disciplined. At least two of the calls were merited. Obviously, Shays was merited.
Yeah, that was a frustration call. It was
Kotkaniemi's as well, I believe, was merited just because the stick broke. Maybe if the stick didn't break and the guy didn't fall over.
But also, it was clear.
But it was pretty clear, so it is what it is.
I'm not arguing.
And then the one at the end, I think Edmondson also obviously a penalty or whatever it was. He hit him.
Yeah, but it was at the end. Who gives a shit?
Simmons in the head. Yeah, but I mean, you're talking about you can't take penalties like that. In general. So
yeah, I know, but 5-1. If you want to, I don't care.
It's just it's kind of that was the frustrating part, is the lack of discipline in that sense. It kind of all started with a bad call in the Gallagher call, but
like I said, we cannot afford to take penalties against this team because they will make us pay on the power play. The power play is too good not to score.
Exactly. Even if they were struggling, they just have too many weapons that even if they don't score on the power play, you're dead for the next shift that they're going to be on anyway. So
they have so many. They could create so many chances, and it's like either they hit the post, either they're hitting the post, or Carey has to make
a crazy save. Yeah, I agree. So. Listen, we'll leave it at that. I would like to see Caulfield in. I would love to see Romanov in.
Same.
I don't know who Romanov goes in for. I don't know if it's Merrill.
I say Merrill because
the thing is, Merrill for me has been pretty solid.
Yeah, but you have last change, bro.
Since he's got here, okay. The problem is he doesn't give you anything on the other side of the puck.
Yeah.
So unless you have a guy that can do that with him, that's very gifted at doing that.
But he's playing with Weber. He's playing with Weber.
We don't have Markov. He's not playing with Petrie. So, like, what's going on? Like, I don't mind Edmondson, Petrie. That's fine too. Like, but you gotta figure out a way to get Romanov in because he's gonna hit. He's gonna hit some guys. He's bringing energy. Listen, the kid loves to be there. If you saw him in between periods, I mean, he's fucking smiling on his face. He's the most hyped out of all the guys that are on the bench. That are sitting out. I mean, sorry, and I don't know. It just shows he wants to play, man. So I'd love to see him in. I'd love to see Caulfield in. KK had a great game. I think we got to start relying on youth a little bit more. then we have, at the very least, they get some playoff experience, right?
For that, I think that's sadly we're lacking on like giving them the experience, right?
Yeah. And listen, I get it. I get they want to win every game. I get the point is to win the playoffs. It's not.
I get it.
Mark Denis said it very well the other day. The goal of the playoffs is not to develop players. The goal of the playoffs is to win the Stanley Cup. So,
True. But
there's no marge de manœuvre.
But to get there, you need playoff experience and you need time.
I get it. But
you sit the young guys out.
If these guys think that this lineup gives them the best chance, it gives them the best chance for them. Like obviously, if we think that maybe we would put the other guys in, but people who are saying put Caulfield in, put KK in, put Romanov in to get experience is not the right answer. The right answer is Romanov is currently better than, Caulfield is currently better than, Kotkaniemi is currently better than. That's the answer to that question. Not make them get experience. It's these guys are going to help you win more than the guys that are in the lineup. Period. Right. And if that's not the case, they got to sit out. The first game of the series, Caulfield shouldn't be in.
No, I agree.
Caulfield shouldn't have been in the first game of the series. I would have loved to see him in because I love the kid. I think he's got a great attitude. He's got unreal potential, but he should not have been in the lineup for the first game. And he wasn't. And we played and we won.
Well, we're gonna see tomorrow at probably you'll find out around this afternoon, like around 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're running into the hour and a half mark. I wanted to talk about so many more things. Maybe we'll do like a quick video tomorrow because I know it's Victoria Day for most people. So if you're watching us, obviously on Victoria Day today, which is tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and we'll keep you guys posted throughout the week. Obviously. Go Habs go for tonight and tomorrow because obviously we are playing a back-to-back as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
As far as I know, we are playing a back-to-back.
We are.
So we'll see what happens there. I'd love to see Carey twice. We'll see what happens. But yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yes.
If you haven't subscribe. And if you haven't followed us on Twitter yet, it's obviously the Sports Junkies podcast. You can look us up, or it's S Junkies Pod. That's the handle. We tweet some cool stuff. Listen, we're averaging 20 to 25 tweets a day about all sports. Mostly thanks to Franco, but I mean, listen, if you want your sports fixes, I don't know many accounts that tweet more than us. So keep up to date, and thanks for following us.
See you guys next time.
Yes, sir.